Good morning, everyone. Good evening, everyone. If you're in New Zealand, we are celebrating Parkrun New Zealand today. Obviously, there's a New Zealand flag. I'm wearing a black top. Hello, my name is Vassos. Welcome to the great big Parkrun quiz with a very New Zealand feel today. I'm wearing a black top, which is the only black item of clothing I wear. It's not perfect on account of the fact that it was given to me by Mark Webber, the Formula One driver, and it's his clothing line, which is Aussie Grit. So it's not the perfect top, but it is black in honor of the All Blacks in New Zealand. We have a New Zealand flag. And let us know, please get in touch if you ran this morning in New Zealand, or even if you watched the live stream, which was a lot of fun last night. Hello. Parkrun.me/quiz16. We've been amending the questions over the past 15 minutes or so you might need to reload that because we want to reflect the fact that there is Parkrun again somewhere in the world, and we are 90% absolutely thrilled for everyone in New Zealand who is back park running, and 10%, just that tiny amount, where is it, that tiny amount, jealous. There seems to be a bit of a delay on my camera, but I hope you guys can all hear me okay. Let me know if there is an issue this week. Parkrun.me/quiz16. If you're watching on catch up, you can fast forward the next 5 minutes or so. But we do have, of course, as always, last week's country leaderboard. Wouldn't it be nice if New Zealand won last week? I have no idea. I don't even know if I've got them yet. No, I haven't got them yet. But Russ, I'm sure, will send me last week's leaderboard. Mary is our 6-year-old now, 6-year-old now, who writes a story at the end of the quiz and reads it out. What's the story going to be about this week? Do you know what country flag that is?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Do you know where New Zealand is? It's near Australia. Well, not that near Australia, but it's nearer Australia than anywhere else.
And you have to go on 5 planes to go to Australia.
2 planes to go to Australia.
5.
Arabella told you that you have to go to 5 planes.
They go to Australia.
Yeah, they do. They are Australian. They're half Australian, Arabella and Eloise, your friends. But I think it's 2 planes. But maybe it's 5. Maybe it's 5. I've been to New Zealand and I only went on 2 planes. And New Zealand is further away from us than Australia. Do you know anything about New Zealand? No. They're very good at rugby. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Uncle Nick used to live in New Zealand. Uncle Nick went to New Zealand on honeymoon and fell in love with the place, so moved there. So please let us know. Did you? Hello from Geelong. Hello from Whitley Bay. Hello, Erica. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Alessandra. Hello, Claire. Hello, Katie. Go on then. Did anyone? I haven't been looking. I've been talking to Mary. Did anyone actually run in New Zealand this morning? And please let us know how that was. We're only a tiny bit jealous, but we're celebrating with a huge New Zealand themed parkrun quiz this morning. Parkrun.me/quiz. What was it? 16. Parkrun.me/quiz16. Right, here we go. Leaderboard from last week. This is the competitive bit. Oh dear, the Netherlands. 4.5 in last place. 4.5 out of 15 last week. The Netherlands. Interestingly, I don't think we've got this question. We have a general New Zealand knowledge question. Zealand. So there's New Zealand and York and New York. Zealand and New Zealand. Zealand is in the Netherlands. I found that out this morning. Then USA, Denmark, Germany, Japan. All right, do you want the top 5? Top 5. In 4th equal, Eswatini and Namibia. Very strong showing again from Eswatini. 9 out of 15. In 3rd place on their own, Sweden. 9.5 out of 15. Poland in 2nd place. 10 out of 15. And France again. The French win again. 11.5 out of 15. Where are the UK? UK in 12th place with 7.2 out of 15. New Zealand just into the top 10 in 9th, 7.7 out of 15 last week. But we're expecting a very strong showing from you in New Zealand, please, this week. You can't, please don't represent New Zealand unless you're in New Zealand, because I think New Zealand deserve to have a bit of a head start when it comes to general New Zealand knowledge. For example, one of the questions is going to be, what's the capital of New Zealand? I would expect everybody in New Zealand to know that, but maybe not everybody in the rest of the world. Do you, for instance, know off the top of your head the capital of New Zealand? This is Matthew, everyone, our 14-year-old. He plays along.
If you said it, I'd be like, oh, yeah. But
Well, I'm going to say 4 options, right?
yeah.
So one of the options will be it. So hopefully you'll go, oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
What's the capital of... This is so unfair. Annie's only just got up. What's the capital of... Do you want a capitals game?
Yeah.
What's the capital of... Do you want Australia?
Is it Sydney?
No, it's not Sydney.
Wait, no.
I'll give you 4 options. Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra, or Perth.
Melbourne.
Nope.
I have no idea.
No, you obviously have no idea. Okay, everyone, what's the time? 4 minutes past 9. We're starting soon. The New Zealand Spesh for the great big parkrun quiz. You've already started your story. Let's have a look. Can I give the people a preview? I was at the school disco. Obviously, that's not lately, but you were at the school disco. I have a feeling this is going to be another non-fiction story from Mary. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I have no idea where the questions are. Are these the questions? Yes, they are.
It's a real story.
Yes, yeah. Real story is non-fiction. Fiction means you make it up. Non-fiction means it's a real story.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, are you ready? Parkrun.me/quiz16. New Zealand Spesh. Well played, New Zealand. Welcome back, Parkrun New Zealand. Let's hope the rest of the world aren't too far behind you. Right then, round 1, Parkrun New Zealand. Question 1. Which was the first parkrun event to launch in New Zealand? The first parkrun event to launch in New Zealand. Was it Lower Den, Lower Hut, Lower Shack, Lower Shed? Just saying, I would have got this right because when Uncle Nick, your Uncle Nick too, lived in New Zealand briefly, we went to something called Mount This. Mount Den, Hut, Shack or Shed. But anyway, the first parkrun event to launch in New Zealand, was it Lower Den, Lower Hut, Lower Shack, or Lower Shed? Question 2. In what year did it launch? When was the first parkrun event in New Zealand? Was it 2010, 2011, 2012, or 2013? 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. Rebecca, I did not set all the questions. I did set the New Zealandy questions, and I will set all of the questions next week. I did say I would set all the questions this week, but we decided to do a New Zealand Spesh just after we finished the quiz, Russ and I on the phone. So I will set all the questions next week, and I've already written some. Question 2. In what year did Parkrun New Zealand launch? 2010, 2011, 2013, or 2012? Question 3. How many parkrun events are there in New Zealand? How many parkrun events are there in New Zealand? 20, 30, 40, or 50? Okay, question 5 is today. But I'm going to give you a couple of facts about today just to help you along. So today, in New Zealand, or yesterday for us in the UK, but in New Zealand, this Saturday morning, the 4th of July. Oh, it's a big day for USA as well. This Saturday morning, the 4th of July, there were 361 registrations over the past 7 days ahead of today. There were 20 first-time volunteers, and I don't want to give away the answer. And there were 3,683 athletes in total. Those are just some facts that might help with question 5. And also interesting. I know. I gave it now. Question 4. Question 4. Question 5 coming up. Question 5 is the live question. Question 4, though. How many different people have participated in a New Zealand event, including today? Actually, so question 4 is live too. How many different people have participated in a New Zealand parkrun event? 33,000, 43,000, 53,000, or 63,000? 33, 43, 53, or 63,000. How many people have participated in total at a parkrun New Zealand ever since the year it was launched, which is either 2010, 2011, 2013, or 2012? Don't know why I do that in the wrong order. And question 5. Question 5. How many people took part in their very first parkrun today, including volunteers? How many people took part in their very first parkrun today, including volunteers? Now, there were 20 first-time volunteers. There were just over 3,500 athletes in total. And I will tell you that there were 446 PBs. 446 people, that's nearly 500 people, got a PB at parkrun today. That really makes it real, doesn't it? 446 people got a PB at parkrun today. It's Saturday night for them in New Zealand, and they're having maybe a little glass of something, and they're thinking, I got a parkrun PB today. Fantastic. But question 5 is, how many people took part in their very first parkrun today, including volunteers? 144, 195, 246, or 297? Of course, the runners would have got their PB there. They would have been included in the PBs, in the 446 PBs. And one other fact about parkrun New Zealand today. How many people do you think of the 3,683 people who ran, jogged, or walked today? Of them, how many people do you think? This isn't the question. This is just a little bonus fact. How many people do you think forgot their barcode? I'll give that question to Matthew. He can guess. Matthew, how many people of the 3,500 who jogged, ran, or walked at parkrun New Zealand today? How many people do you think forgot their barcode? Do you think it was 2, 23, 237, or 2,370?
Stuck between 2 and 33. Like the first barcode back, I don't think you can get it.
You wouldn't, would you? I mean, who forgets their barcode?
Yeah,
For a start.
23, because I think you're trying to push me to 2.
It's 237. I think I get on well with them. Right. Well played, Parkrun New Zealand. Welcome back. Right, round 2 is general New Zealand knowledge. Are you ready? Are you ready, New Zealand? We expect all 5 of these right if you're participating representing New Zealand. Question 6, round 2, general New Zealand knowledge. Question 6, what is the capital of New Zealand? Is it Auckland, Christchurch? Oh, I wrote this question. Why would I write a question that includes that answer? Is it Auckland, Christchurch, Wellington, or Taumata, Wakatangi, Hangakuawa, o Tametau, Turi, Pukakapuki, Mawango, Horo, Nuri, Pokai, Wenua, Kitanatachu? It might not be that one. Does anyone think it's number 4, option D? What's the capital of New Zealand? When I said those are all places in New Zealand. Auckland, Christchurch, where Uncle Nick lived.
If you were to tell me the capital,
Yeah. Then you go, oh yeah.
and you said any of those 3, I would have gone, oh yeah.
Yeah. Which have you gone for? Auckland, Christchurch, Wellington, or Taumata? We're going that one.
I'm gonna go Wellington.
You're gonna go Wellington.
I am.
Well done. We got question 6 right, everyone. Okay, you're not allowed to change if you didn't go Wellington. You're not allowed to change. Which of these facts about New Zealand is not true? New Zealand or New Zealanders were the first country in the world to give women the vote. 3 of these are true. The first country to see the sunrise every day, the first country to have a female prime minister, or the first country. It says discover Mount Everest. That's my typo. Obviously, summit Mount Everest. I presume that Mount Everest was discovered by people who live closer to Mount Everest than New Zealanders. So that should be summit Mount Everest. Which is the first country in the world? Which of these facts about New Zealand is not true? They were the first country in the world to give women the vote, the first country in the world to see the sunrise every day, the first country to have a female prime minister, and the first country to summit Mount Everest, along with what's called Tenzing Norgay, the Sherpa. I feel I should tell you that it's not the Everest one, because I miswrote that. No, it's not the Everest one. You did a quiz about Everest. Remember when after we got up Snowdon?
Yeah, I thought the people from New Zealand.
No, Edmund Hillary was New Zealander, even though he trained in Wales.
So I was right.
No, because one of these facts about New Zealand is not true.
Oh.
Okay, question 8. Question 8. I'm going to move here for question 8. I'm going to move there. All right, are you ready for question 8? How many stars are there on the New Zealand flag? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 7? How many stars are there on the New Zealand flag? Ready? Ready? There.
I can just see it.
Ready? Go. How many stars are there? Question 8 on the New Zealand flag. Question 9. Question 9. We've got this right because Matthew doesn't have to come via a camera to see the flag. Question 9. New Zealand lost to England in the men's... Oh, there was no need for this. New Zealand lost to England in the Men's Rugby World Cup last year and the Men's Cricket World Cup. But they did beat England and are world champions at which sport? Netball, men's and women's rugby sevens, women's cricket, or pool? New Zealand lost to England in the Men's Rugby World Cup. That was the semi-finals. And the Men's Cricket World Cup in the final. Did they really lose that final? They definitely didn't win anyway last year. But they beat England and are world champions at which sport? Netball, men's and women's rugby sevens, women's cricket, or pool? What have you gone for?
I'm for netball.
Yep.
I think I remember this.
And... question 10, final question. Oh, you nearly saw the stars thing. You're doing netball today, aren't you? Yeah. How many sheep are there per person in New Zealand? It's the usual, it's the obvious. You have to ask this. If you're doing a quiz about New Zealand, you have to ask it. It's the law. You get arrested if you don't ask this question about New Zealand, if you're doing a quiz about New Zealand. How many sheep are there per person in New Zealand? I can tell you that in Wales, there are 3 sheep per person. But in New Zealand, are there 1, 7, 10, or 19 sheep per person?
I didn't know there were sheep in New Zealand.
You didn't know there were sheep in New Zealand?
Well, I knew there was like some sheep. I didn't know there were loads.
Oh, okay. Well, now you do. There are loads of sheep in Wales. Did you know about the Welsh sheep situation?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there are loads in Wales and loads in New Zealand. And both of those countries are very good at rugby, but I don't think those facts are connected. How many sheep are there per person in New Zealand? Is it 1, 7, 10, or 19? Okay, I'm going to repeat these questions 6 to 10. Question 7 was confusing. Yes, question 7 was confusing. Sorry. Right, round 2. You're already done. Okay, well, go and have a play and come back. I'll let you know when you're needed to read the... It would be nice if you did a story about New Zealand, but to be fair, I don't think you'd heard of New Zealand before like an hour ago. Round 2, general New Zealand knowledge. Question 6, what's the capital of New Zealand? Auckland, Christchurch, Wellington, or Taumata, Wakatangi, Hangakuuma, Otamatea, Turi, Puketapikiki, Manuanga, Horu, Nua, Pokai, Wenua, Kitanahanu. It's not that, but I have an interesting fact about that. It's a hill. That is a hill. Number 4 is a hill. Question 7. Which of these facts about New Zealand, what have we broken? Not broken. Good. Good. It is not true. So question 7. Which of the facts about New Zealand is not true? Is it the first country? Was it the... So it was 3 of these things. It wasn't one of these things. First country in the world to give women the vote. First country to see the sunrise every day. First country to have a female prime minister. First country, it says discover, but it should say summit Mount Everest. Okay? Is that less confusing? Is that less confusing? Does everyone get question 7? Which of these facts is not true? What I thought I was doing when I wrote this, when I wrote it badly, because obviously option D is wrong, was to try and give some 3 interesting facts about New Zealand. One of them is not true. Question 8. How many stars are there on the New Zealand flag? There it is. 3, 4, 5, or 7. Question 9. New Zealand lost to England in both the Men's Rugby World Cup and Men's Cricket World Cup last year, but they beat England and are world champions at which sport? Netball, men's and women's rugby sevens, women's cricket, or pool? And question 10, if you can hear me over Mary, how many sheep are there per person in New Zealand? 1, 7, 10, or 19? Right, true or false round. Are you ready for the true or false round? All about New Zealand, all about parkrun New Zealand. I'm trying to cover up the number of stars. When you move on to the next round, have you submitted your answer by now? And it's too late to change. On the answer sheet, you can still go back and change. Okay, so I'll keep. Don't know what's going on about stars. Right. New Zealand, question 11, had a parkrun before Ireland. Is that true or false? I don't actually know because I haven't got the answers on this. New Zealand had a parkrun before Ireland. Is it true or false? Yeah, I'm going to go false. I think Ireland had a parkrun before. Oh, I nearly said when New Zealand had their first parkrun. I'm going to say false for that. Where are we going? False? Let's go false. I don't know the answers here. Question 12, true or false? Most parkruns in New Zealand start at 8 a.m. Ooh, true or false? I think that's true in Australia. I think that's true in Australia, or 8:30, so it might be true in New Zealand as well. True or false? Most parkruns in New Zealand start at 8 a.m. Question 13. My instinct would be true. Yeah. Question 13. The average finish time at a New Zealand parkrun this morning. Oh, another live question. The average parkrun finish time this morning was 31 minutes and 39 seconds. This is faster than the global 5K parkrun average finishing time. Is that true or false? Oh, we actually had the average finishing time globally in the quiz about 2 weeks ago. Can't remember what it was. I'm going to say it was faster. I'm going to say it is faster. I'm going to say we're going to go true with that. But listen, everyone, I don't have a clue. Okay. The average finishing time at a New Zealand parkrun this morning was 31:39. This is faster than the global 5K parkrun average time, which came up as a question 2 weeks ago, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, it is 6 seconds. I've just found out it's 6 seconds either way. I still don't know which way, but it's 6 seconds either way. So it's almost bang on the average global finishing time, but it's 6 seconds. If you think it was faster, hit true. If you think 6 seconds slower, hit false. There are more. I've now remembered what the average finishing time is, so I'm going to stop talking around that question. Question 14. There are more parkrun events on the South Island than on the North Island. Is that true or false? I also don't have a clue. But it's not close. One island is 9, one island is 21. There are more parkrun events on the South Island than the North Island. No, I would go false. I think, see, Uncle Nick lived in Christchurch, which is on the South Island, but I think many of the bigger towns are on the North Island. I don't know. I should know. I don't know. Sorry. Question 15. Today, and this is workoutable, I guess. Today is the 13th parkrun day in 2020 in New Zealand. The lucky 13th. Is that true or false? Today is the 13th parkrun day in 2020 in New Zealand. It's about that, isn't it? It would be about that.
True.
I don't know. It's up to you. Okay. Right. Quick recap. True or false? True or false? Round 3. Question 11. Oh, you saw the stars. Don't change your answer. Question 11. New Zealand had a park run before Ireland. Is that true or false? New Zealand had a park run before Ireland. Elaine says, I just told us question 3 answer. Did I? Oh, adding up north and south. I did. Pesky clever people. Question 12. Most park runs in New Zealand start at 8 a.m. Is that true or false? Question 13. The average finish time this morning in New Zealand, or last night in New Zealand for us, was 31:39. That is faster than the global average. Is that true or false? I think I remember. So can we put...
Oh, I've already pressed submit.
Have you? Oh, too late. Question 14. There are more parkrun events on the South Island than the North Island. There are more events on the South Island than the North Island. Is that true or false? And question 15. Today is the 13th parkrun day in 2020 in New Zealand. Is that true or false? Right. How do you get on, everyone?
Is it
13. Where did we go for that? We went. Have we gone? Everyone's gone.
Yeah, okay.
I think we should go true. It's about that. I can't be bothered to work it out. All right, so let's have a look. So 10 out of 15 for Steve, who got 3 last week. 8 out of 15. We got double digits again. Brilliant. We got double digits. Fantastic.
5 out of 5 in the round 2, but
We got 5 out of 5 in round 2. But to be fair, one of them was there. And we got 1 in round 1. So what do we get? 10. We get 10.
yeah, 4.
10 out of 15 for us. Anyone beat 10? I haven't seen a bettering 10 yet. 7s, some 9s. Oh, 11. And then there's been a 13, I'm told. There's quite a lot of 9s. Another 10 from Katie. Well done, Katie. A 12 from Andrew. Show off. Another 12 from Ness. 16 out of 15 from Madison. Well done, Madison. How did that work? 9 out of 15, 12s, 11 out of 15. Well done, everyone. Okay, let's do the answers. Let's go through the answers. The answers. Why have I got 4 sheets of paper? Okay. Which was the first parkrun event, question 1, to launch in New Zealand? The answer was Lower Hutt. I would have got that right because there's Mount Hutt.
Yeah. Oh, and Lower Hutt.
In which year did it launch? The answer is 2012. Parkrun New Zealand launched in 2012. There are 30 events in New Zealand. I sort of gave that away. There are 30 events in New Zealand, but I only gave it away probably after most people had submitted. Question 4. The answer is 63,000. 63,000 different people have participated in New Zealand parkrun in 8 years. And how many people took part in their very first parkrun today, including volunteers? 297. That's nice, isn't it? 297 people are walking around having experienced parkrun for the very first time today, having not experienced it this time yesterday. That's lovely. It's a lovely thought to take into our weekend. Round 2, general New Zealand knowledge. Okay, the answer is Wellington, but give us that, Mary. Can I have that? It's very interesting. Well, it's mildly interesting. Option D. Here we go. Are you ready for option D? Some option D facts. So obviously the answer is that Wellington is the capital of New Zealand. Taumata Waka, that one, I won't read it again, translates into English as this, that place translates into English as the place where, no, I'm talking. You're going a bit, very good drawing. The place where Tamatea, the man with the big knees, who slid, climbed, and swallowed mountains, known as Land Eater, played his flute to his loved one. Locals simply call it Taumata Hill. Tamatea was a famous chief and warrior. One day, while traveling, he encountered another tribe and had to fight them to get past. During the fight, his brother was killed. Tamatea was so grieved over the loss of his brother that he stayed at the battle site for some days. Each morning, he would sit on the hill and play a lament on what is known as koau, or the Maori flute. You can find the hill driving south from Waipakurau for 55 kilometers. Turn right onto Wimbledon Road. The actual place is on private land, so ask permission before you can walk to it. There you go. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Locals call it Taumata Hill. It's not the capital of New Zealand. Right. How many stars are there on the New Zealand flag? It's 4. Netball. New Zealand beat England and are the champions, world champions at netball in England, actually. And that old chestnut, it's 7. Yeah, 5 guesses out of 5, was it?
No, Wellington, I'm pretty certain.
Were you pretty certain of Wellington?
I'm pretty sure they didn't get the first female prime minister. I knew there was 4.
Okay. So.
I knew it was netball because we were listening to it in the car.
Yes, we did. We did listen to it in the car. You were right.
It's a bit boring.
Okay, true or false? I have no idea about these true or falses, so it's bad that that's fallen out. I do need to hear Ross. Okay, true or false? Parkrun had in New Zealand before Ireland. Is that true or false, Ross? That's true. They did. New Zealand was 2012. Ireland was 2013. True or false? Most parkruns in New Zealand start at 8 a.m. Stop knocking that out because I don't know. I'm gonna know now. Is that true? Yes, that is true. They all start at 8 a.m. The average finishing time. I know, but it doesn't say like other stuff. It doesn't say stuff that Russ knows on your phone. The average finishing time in a New Zealand parkrun this morning was 31:39. I'm going to say that's false. Was it 31:33, the average? Yeah, so it was false. It was false, but it was nearly bang on. There are more parkrun events on the South Island than the North Island. That's got to be false, right? That is false. 9 on the South Island, 21 on the North. And finally, Mary, your nearly story time. Today was the 13th parkrun day in New Zealand in 2020. Is that true?
Yeah.
That is true. It was the 13th parkrun day in New Zealand in 2020. All good. Well played, New Zealand. We're absolutely delighted for you and only a tiny bit jealous. It is now time for Mary's. If we'd really done this right, I'd have given her a little pep talk about New Zealand, told her stuff about New Zealand, primed her to write a story about New Zealand. But I did none of those things. I did, however, put the flag on the wall the wrong way around, so it looks the right way around for all of you. So I did something right this morning. Do you want to do your story? What's that?
From the neighbours.
Oh, question 7. I didn't do the answer to question 7. Sorry, everyone. Question 7. New Zealand was not the first country to have a female prime minister. Oh, and I didn't do 10. Did I not do 10 either? What's happening with me today? No, I did do 10. It was 7. There were 7 sheep per person in New Zealand. Question 7. 3 facts are true about New Zealand. So New Zealand was the first country in the world to give women the vote. New Zealand is the first country in the world to see the sunrise every day. New Zealand, Edmund Hillary, was the first person to summit Mount Everest. But New Zealand was not the first country in the world to have a female prime minister. Don't know which one was. Should have checked that. Didn't. Mary, your turn. The flag is definitely not the right way around. Isn't it? It looks the right way around on my screen. Have I done it the wrong way around?
No.
Oh, because I can see it the right way around. Hang on, I'm going to move it before Mary's story. Is this the right way around then? Oh, everyone, hang on. Whoops. So this is the right way around for me. Is this the right way around for everyone else?
Chair.
Oh, I moved it. Sorry, everyone.
I sit on your chair.
You can sit on, but I would sit on my lap, otherwise people can't see you. See, that looks the wrong way around on my screen. I changed it on purpose so that you all had it the right way around. Oh, I'm really sorry. That's rubbish. But I did check. Okay, right. Here we go. Right. Do the quiz again. Very funny. Right. Mary story time. So double reverse. How does that work? I just don't get this stuff.
It's a little bit short.
It's a little bit short. Okay. Mary, all yours, darling.
It was I was at the school disco and I won. I saw lots of my friends. I got a golden statue.
You got a
Check
golden
it.
statue, which does look a bit like the Oscars. All of that is true.
And I still have my
Oh,
trophy.
and she's still got her trophy. All of that is true. Mary was at the school disco and she won Best Dancer and she saw lots of her friends and
Yeah.
she got a golden statue. Statue.
No, statue.
Statue. Oh, statue. Well, thank you, everyone. Well done, New Zealand. Sorry for the shambolic flag situation. I feel really bad. I did that. I feel really bad about that. Never mind, though. Hey, at least you've got. You might not have your flag the right way around in the great big parkrun quiz, but you've got parkrun back. And I think of the two, you'd rather have that. Thank you, everybody. Well done, New Zealand. We'll be back next week when I will ask all of the questions. I will ask all of the questions next week. Yeah, I've written some already. Bye. Do you want to do the bye-bye? Do you want to do the bye-bye?
Yeah, I want to do the bye-bye.